Okay, it's morning day 2 at Acto Twin Towers. So that was me set up last night. No bivvy bag or anything. There's a bit thin on decent spots, so this is what we got. Right, just out on my daily exercise allowance, and I thought I'd give you 5 amazing tips on stealth camping. So I'll wander on and we'll get into that. Alright. Okay, so if you're out and about doing long distance trails and that, at some point you're going to have to stealth camp. So it's good to know how to sort of go about it. I'd sort of say a stealth camp is maybe when you're being a bit cheeky as to where you camp, but sometimes you can't always predict where you're going to end up. Anyway, got my little list here. So I'd say number 1 is location. So I would always make an effort to pick somewhere where no one can see you, so that way no one knows you're there, then they can't have a problem. Or that solves 2 problems. No one can have a problem with you camping there, and also if there's some kind of deviant people, they can't bother you either, so a win on both fronts. So I would have a look at the map, try and camp away from obviously the main path, try and camp away from tracks or roads. I'd avoid farmers' fields, particularly if there's livestock in there, and maybe pick like a hedge line or a bit of isolated woods, and squirrel yourself away. Just yep, that's the first one. Just to add to the first point, it's worth noting that it's only in Scotland and Dartmoor where you're legally allowed to wild camp. Places like the Lake District and whatnot, generally like North Wales, tolerate it, and then the rest of the country is probably sort of downhill from there. So yeah, it's just worth noting under location. But like I say, if you're not causing a mess and that, then and you're discreet, then you should be alright. Okay, number 2 is fairly obvious, but is pitch up late and get away early. So you know, kind of scout your location and don't stick your tent up till it starts getting dark, unless you're really hidden away. And then try and leave early as well, so by the time anyone's out and about, you're away and they can't have a problem with you. So probably a dog walker that'll find you, but yeah, especially if you're out in the mountains and no one's going to be up there till, you know, getting later on in the day. But yeah, it's good practice to get away early. Yeah, so number 3 is probably the most important one. Is leave no trace. So that goes for rubbish, but try and leave the area so it looks like no one has been there at all. So again, nobody can have a problem with it. So if you're in the woods and you've got to move sticks and whatnot to you know, sort out space for your tent, and put all those sticks back, rough everything up, rough the grass up, and then hopefully no one can twig you've been there, and again they can't have a problem with it. And obviously rubbish is, you know, a pretty obvious one. Try and take all your food scraps and everything as well, if possible. And yeah, anyway, pretty basic one, but yeah, some people seem to struggle with it. So number 4 is security. So kind of ties in with number one, in that if I don't know you're there, then nobody can have a problem with it. But you'll run into people and ask where you're going and where you're going to camp. So I would try to be as evasive as possible, even if they seem like they're good natured, but you never know. Especially if they look dodgy, then just say, oh, you're going to the next campsite. Maybe have a bit of a backstory in your back pocket, as it were. But yeah, I would just be evasive as possible without being nasty. So yeah, you'll should have less problem with people wanting to make an issue of it. I've never really had a problem. I've had people ask where I'm going and that, but I suppose I'm a bit hairy and weird looking, so people don't really bother me. But it's worth bearing in mind anyway, especially when you're not from the area and whatnot. Anyway, I think I made my point. Trying to avoid getting wet feet, but I've got slightly wet toes, so I'll be alright. I know we've had it pretty good weather-wise lately, but I haven't missed the rain, I've got to say, but it's not been that bad. Just we had our fair share of it this winter, obviously. Oh, Winchester Hill, it's been in a few videos. Slightly claggy today. Certainly not as nice as last time I was up there. Okay, and number 5 is animals. Be aware of animals. So, like I said, with location, either livestock or in Britain, animals aren't generally a problem, but I'd avoid camping over a deer trail, obvious deer trail, or right next to a badger set or something like that. Otherwise, maybe mice might bother you, but you're not generally going to get bothered. If you're in the woods, maybe just check for wood ants nests, because ask me how I know. Yeah, they're not much fun, but obviously in other countries you've got stuff like bears and that to worry about, so I've only had to worry about that in Canada, where we did have to, and Greenland, northern Canada, polar bears, so we had to take shotguns, but different places in the world, you won't be toting a shotgun around Yosemite National Park, for example, or so check out the advice for your area and gen up on that, but it's good to be aware. Different areas have different protocols and different rules on either firearms, bear spray, storage and stuff, so it's not really my field of expertise. So, but yeah, something to be aware of animals other than the human variety. And that's pretty much it for tips. I think that's all I've got. I've run dry, so carry on the rest of my walk. If you see anything interesting, I'll point it out. So yeah, the autofocus on this camera isn't the best, it wanders a lot, but I shall replace it soon. But has been hammered all winter in the rain. Pretty much all my footage over the winter's been with this camera, whatever the weather, and it's not weather sealed or anything, so it's done well. Just not very good on the autofocus, and it's got no flip out screen because I was too stingy to pay for the extra for that one. So, but gets the job done. Okay, so I don't think anything particularly amazing is going to happen, so I'll leave it here and catch you on the next one. Okay.